Very interesting concerts. We started in Russia, and then traveling through China a little, and now we played 2 concerts in Mexico City. And it's very interesting how the people are reacting to the new material, because I mean this album is very special. It's probably the most darkest, most emotional album we ever did. It's an outstanding album in the history of Lacrimosa, and we play some songs on this tour that we never play ever again. So like tonight, for example, there will be some songs that we perform, and as long as Lacrimosa exists, they will never be played again. So that makes it really special, because those are also special songs, and they are so strong connected to the topic of Testimonium that for the future it's actually not possible to, you know, like get them into a best of show. So we are always, every evening, excited how the audience is reacting to the new material. I remember, I have great remembrance, because we always had great times here. We met so many interesting people, and you know, Puebla was one of the first cities we visited besides Mexico City, and we realized how relaxed the people are here. And that's nice. I mean, it's we have the impression that the city is a very good place to live in. It's a nice place, and so that's also how the people react to us, and therefore we are always happy to come back. And I'm really happy that it worked out, because maybe some of you guys have seen it in the first schedule. Puebla wasn't there. It was like actually tonight would have been no concert. And then after Mexico City was sold out pretty soon, there was the possibility also to play here. And now it looks like it's going to be very full tonight, so I'm very excited. That was a very interesting project, because I met Martin from Mono Inc. some time ago just for an interview. Actually, we didn't do any work together, but there was a magazine. They wanted to interview us because they knew that he's very much inspired by my music, and that was like an interview for 2 generations. So then we had this really nice conversation, and after that, when he wrote this song, he thought like he would perform the song with people he likes and people he respects. And then he asked me, and I love the song because it's so much gothic rock from the 80s. It's so typical, you know, Sisters and that kind of stuff. Really cool song, very well produced. And it was also cool that he invited Joachim Witt, and also he's a singer from Lot of Loss, and we had a great time together, and really nice people, very respectful. I always love those kind of collaborations, because you are thrown into something that is so far away from what you are normally doing. I mean, you know, when I'm in the studio, I'm so totally in my world, and it's great to be invited into the world of somebody else. Yeah, of course. I mean, you know, if music doesn't change, then it's kind of everything has to develop. Life is development, and if things won't develop, they die. So music needs to also develop, needs to change. I mean, it would be weird if we still would listen to the same music like, for example, the Doors did in the 60s. I'm a huge fan of the Doors, but it's good that the music developed. Speaking about the dark music, gothic, metal scene, some movements are maybe not, some developments are maybe not the best, I think, because they are very much led through the commercial thought, and not through artistical inspirations. And that is, of course, what I feel sorry for. For example, we have like this 10-minute song Testimonium on the new album, the title song, and many people say like, wow, that's much too long. Well, I mean, that's because the people nowadays, they don't find the time anymore to sit down there and listen to something. They need like 2 minutes, you know, like watching a YouTube video, and then after 1 minute, if it's not interesting, they skip and go to the next YouTube video. So it would be nice if people would take more time again to, you know, get into music, to listen to it, and to not only consume it. Well, you know, this album is it's inspired actually by, I didn't plan this album. It was like when I heard on 16th of January 2016 that David Bowie died, I was so in shock, so I wrote this song actually, Wenn unsere Helden sterben. And then it continued, like Prince, who was a huge star of my childhood, died, and so many others died. And I kept on writing, inspired through the pain and the grief about the loss of those wonderful artists. And I was actually, that's what the lyrics are mostly about, and what the music is about. But you see, a requiem is always those people, those composers who wrote the requiem never knew those people they wrote it for. For example, Mozart, which is obviously one of the most famous and in my taste, of course, the most beautiful requiem. He never knew for whom he wrote the requiem. He got this. He didn't even know who paid him. There was just this messenger telling him to write his requiem, and he brought some money. So it's a bit the same here. I didn't know David Bowie personally, or Leonard Cohen, and all these artists. So I took the whole theme right after the first song, Wenn unsere Helden sterben, into a very personal way. So this album becomes it's like a conversation with myself about losses. You know, we need to say goodbye to many things every day. That might be an idea, that might be a dream, that might be a person, that might be, you know, so many things we have to say goodbye to every day, and that's always a little death. It's always some kind of a parting, dying. And this is what this album then also is much about, like songs like Der leise Tod, where something dies inside, Weltenbrand, where the hope dies that this world will recover, that people will be able to get wise one day. So this album is mostly about death and my personal point of view on certain topics, how to deal with death and with grief. Well, I think it's not a secret that I'm a huge fan of our Mexican audience, because, you know, Lacrimosa is, so to say, divided in two parts. There's this emotional kind of lyrically part where you need to feel the music really deep inside, and therefore you need to be an emotional person. You need to have the capability to be able to reflect your feelings. And on the other hand, Lacrimosa has some, let's say, not party songs, but you know, rock songs to get out of yourself. And there are many audiences in the world. Some can be really like drawing into the emotions, some can do party, and the Mexicans can do both, and that's what I really love. So if I think back now, the two concerts we had in Mexico City, it was wonderful, because there were moments where the audience was crying with us, and other moments where the audience was jumping, and you know, and this is exactly how it should be. And in Mexico, nobody's afraid of letting out their feelings, and this is what I love so much, because I feel exactly like that. That's why I do Lacrimosa. That's why I do this kind of music. And in Europe, sometimes people ask me, like, are you not afraid to give give so much of yourself to the people? And I'm always like, yeah, well, but it is myself, and I'm not afraid of, you know, showing it. And this is like what you guys are, and therefore, for us, it's actually our home. Well, I never thought of writing a book about my life, but spontaneous thinking, the title might be something like "Thanks" or I'm blessed or something like that, because I feel so blessed. I feel so thankful that I can reach so many people with our music. I mean, this morning I was sitting in a restaurant having breakfast, watching above the city, and saw all the people going to work, and I thought it's so amazing to be here just because of the music. I mean, I'm invited here, and people are nice and yeah, nice to us, because of the music we do, and we can be, for 1 or 2 days, we can be a part of the city, of the life of the city, and this makes me so thankful. Therefore, if I would write some kind of autobiography, it would be something like, yeah, thank you. I don't really have favorite songs, because, you know, songs are like children. You can't say that's my favorite child. But it varies on stage. On some songs, for example, like the other night in Mexico City, when I was singing Lass die Nacht nicht über mich fallen, I couldn't hold back my tears. There was suddenly, this song really got me so much. Some other concerts, it might be another song like Weltenbrand, which totally captures me. It's always a bit dependent on my personal mood in this moment and how the audience reacts, how deep I can grow into a special or particular song. I wouldn't say I have a favorite song. It's just like the song that is right for the moment. Of course, like Wenn unsere Helden sterben is one of the key songs for me on this album, because it's all started with this song. If I wouldn't have been writing this song, the whole album, the whole idea for this album wouldn't have been existing. So this is like a sacred song. It's a holy song for me. I haven't thought about it. I mean, I'm hot for composing, because when I'm on tour, I don't find the time to compose. And I need this, like the air I breathe, but I don't know where it will lead me to. I don't have any plans yet. I probably, when I come home and I unpack my suitcase, the next thing will be that I sit on the piano, I grab the guitar, and then I see where it leads me to.